This is TWiT. We're talking about subscriptions. They multiply like triffids. Hello, I'm Leo Laporte.
I'm Megan Morrone.
And welcome to iOS Today, the show where we cover the iPad, the iPhone, the Apple Watch, and the Apple TV, all the iOS devices in our lives. And today we're going to cut through the thicket, the hedge surrounding us. If you look at your bills, I don't know, maybe it's just me. You start looking at like your credit card or your bank statements and all these little $5 charges, and they really they like nibble away at you.
Death by 1,000 subscriptions.
Yes,
what I call it.
Exactly. So today we're going to talk about that and how to fix it.
Yes, I like to do this. Also, you know, it's still January. For a couple more days, it's a new year. Clean out the stuff that you're not using anymore, and recognize the stuff that you are using and paying for. So first of all,
probably a good idea. This, you know, like do this on a yearly basis. Yeah.
Apple does not make it easy to find your subscriptions.
They do not, especially on the iOS devices. They almost kind of say you should really be doing this on your desktop, but not everybody has a Mac that they can do this with.
And we're just talking about the subscriptions that you do have on your iPad. So
these are your iOS space.
Yes. So you go to settings, and then you go to your Apple ID, and then you go to iTunes and App Store. And then here, you can't even tell that that's a button that you have to push. It doesn't look like it, right?
It doesn't have a bracket.
But that's what you have to do.
Look at that.
And then you view your Apple ID.
I honestly didn't think I could do that.
Then I get through Touch ID. And then you have to scroll down.
Jeez Louise.
And then you have to tap on subscriptions. And then you're there.
You can also do that, as I said, in iTunes on the desktop, and it may be a little bit easier to get there, although it's still kind of a hidden thing. That's on the negative side. On the plus side, they at least do list everything you've subscribed to on your iPad or iPhone, and give you a very easy way of knowing what the subscription costs, when it's going to expire, and to cancel it. So let's do that together. Okay,
so I'm going to start with the top one, which for me is the Apple Music membership, family membership.
$14.99. Every single gosh darn.
So let's see. Does this one stay on the island, or does this one stay off the island? Here's something that doesn't. I also subscribe to Spotify.
That's the question. Should you keep one or the other or both? That's a hard one. If you're going to get a HomePod, which I am in about a week, then you probably want to keep your Apple Music because Spotify doesn't yet work with it.
Right. Do you subscribe to Apple Music?
I do because of the HomePod.
Oh, you just subscribe?
And the kids prefer it.
Yeah, they do.
For some reason, the kids prefer it. I thought, you know, the first time they offered a family plan, I remember shouting as my daughter drove off, "Would you like me to subscribe to the family plan?" And she shouted back, "No, I have Spotify." Both the kids were Spotify fans, but I noticed that once I got the family plan on Apple Music, I got profuse thanks. I think this was because it was early on in Apple Music, and they didn't really, but now I think they're both iPhone users. All their friends use iPhones. I think they kind of want Apple Music.
Right.
The problem is if you're, Apple Music with other hardware isn't quite up here. Spotify's great on Sonos, for instance, but Apple Music's a little trickier to get going. Things like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, my house is littered with Amazon Echoes. So every time I want to listen to Apple Music, I have to pair them to my phone, which is fine. You just say pair Bluetooth and it pairs, and then you can listen to. But the HomePod, you'll just be able to say, like, play my podcast for getting ready for iOS today, or play my
your playlists and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, did I say podcast? I meant playlist. Yeah, play my playlist, or play that song that's on the soundtrack to Superman 2, or whatever you want. It'll just ideally, we haven't tried it yet. I'm assuming that it's going to work. So that is something. And the other reason I keep it is just my kids have all their playlists in there, and then they say, "No, I don't want to switch over." I don't want to lose that. Even though they also can, most of the music that my boys listen to is already on Amazon Prime, which we already pay for.
There's another one. Yeah, I have Google Music, Amazon Prime. I finally killed Spotify and Apple Music. The one thing I did do, with Spotify, you can subscribe in iOS, but then Apple takes a third of that. You know, anything you do in iOS, Apple takes a third of it. And I felt bad for Spotify. I went to Spotify. They said the only way you can fix that is if you cancel your Apple subscription, then come to Spotify, and you probably should wait a little while so it all registers and get a new subscription. And so I did the first part, and then I didn't really get around to getting the new subscription. So now I feel twice as guilty.
Well, I subscribed to Spotify because it came free with my New York Times subscription. So
do I get it free with my New York Times subscription?
I don't know. You should ask. It might have been just a promo deal, but I hardly ever use it.
Yeah, I like Spotify's sharing and playlists. And one of the things Spotify does, I don't think anybody else does, but correct me if I'm wrong, is, and Andy Anako turned me on to this because he tweeted, I'm going to create a Spotify playlist, make it public, and I want you all to add exactly one song, the one song playlist. And it has hundreds of songs on it now that each person contributed their like all-time desert island. If I only had one song to listen to over and over, this would be it. And it's a great and eclectic, I might add, playlist. And that's so cool that you can create a kind of community playlist like that. Can you do that on Apple Music? I don't feel like you can.
But I do. I mean, you can follow people.
I do.
Yes.
I follow people, and that's one way to.
Follow you.
You can do that on Spotify. But you shouldn't follow me because I don't really use it that often.
I do get a lot of suggestions from the people I follow. Let's see if you can create a playlist.
A public playlist is such a good idea.
New playlist. The
problem is you can use Spotify for free and get a lot of the functionality. You just get some ads. There really isn't a free tier of Apple Music. You know, all you get for free is Beats One Radio, which isn't the best radio station ever. I feel like they dropped the ball on that one too. There were rumors for a while that Apple was going to create multiple genre. You know, there'll be Beats 2, 3, 4, 5, and they never really did that either. They have what they call radio, which is the same thing as a Pandora list, where it's just music of related types. But they don't have DJ hosted radio stations. That was a great opportunity for Apple. It's another case where sometimes Apple gets a great idea, they're all enthused about it, and then just kind of dribbles off and they forget about it, and that's that. I guess this happens to all tech companies.
I mean, if I didn't have this and I didn't follow Renee Ritchie, how would I know about the Pokemon Gold and Silver classics?
That's exactly why I don't follow Renee. No, I do.
I'm sure that's him. But
you do want to find somebody who has really excellent musical taste and follow them. And you can follow celebrities, of course. And then there's another one. Remember the social network that Apple created to go along with this? Called? I don't even remember.
Yeah. I don't
and then you would follow artists.
That's gone, I think.
Well, it's vestigially there because I still follow some artists.
Yeah, interesting.
It's just you feel like they're a big company, aren't they? Feels like they are. Feels like they might be the largest company in the world. Not in terms of employees, but in terms of revenue. Why don't they have a team dedicated just keeping all these features they announce alive and vibrant and exciting? Then I think Apple Music would be a more compelling deal. Instead, they're spending $1 billion to get TV shows that you can only watch on Apple Music. It's very confusing. It's a confusing strategy. And again, Apple's not the only company. This seems to be endemic in Silicon Valley.
So we're keeping Apple Music. I think we are.
I vote them on the island.
We're going to vote them on the island, but keep them.
But
they're not allowed to sleep in the tent.
We're going to keep our eyes on you, Apple Music. Yeah, you don't get to sleep in a tent. You're on the beach with the tiki torches.
Okay, what's next on your list?
Oh, I have so many gosh darn diggity dang subscriptions. Let's talk about JibJab.
Okay, JibJab.
This one is one. It tears me up. $2.99 a month, and it's a monthly subscription.
When did you last use it, Leo?
Well, that's the problem is I want it every holiday. Like the Christmas, I sent you this silly Christmas card. I want it on the holidays, at Valentine's Day, but I don't want it in between. I say cancel your subscription. I can always I've done this several times.
Yeah, just get it at Christmas. You only want it at Christmas. Think about how much you're saving. That's $3 a month if you're only going to use it 1 month.
So how do I cancel it?
That's a good question.
It expires February 5th. Maybe I already canceled it.
Oh, look,
I think I already canceled it.
On January 5th, So you only have a few more days. So that one's already off the island.
See, there's active and then there's inactive, and there's stuff, and you can see some of this inactive is actually on active, which is really confusing.
So I bet you unsubscribed to that when I mentioned this. You were like, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I don't want to tell anyone I'm paying for JibJab," but then it's still there.
No, yeah, it's still there.
Okay,
now,
what about Bear?
Here's Bear. Now, this one is the problem with this, and I do this a lot because it's such a deal. So if you get 1 month, it's $1.49, but it's only $15 for a year. Bear is a great notebook program that I demonstrated a few weeks ago. And of course, when I bought the subscription.
But you're still on the free trial on there.
Oh,
So you're free.
Should I? Because otherwise,
are you going to use
this is good. This is one reason why you want to do this. On February 1st, I'll be billed $15.
That's a couple days. I don't know. What is Bear again? It's for writing, for
organizing?
It's
beautiful. I mean, I really like it. It's a beautiful notebook program. Let me just launch it so I can show you. That lets you, it's very pretty. And so it lets you, like I'm planning our trip to Japan. And it has this capability. You see the hashtags? That means I've created subfolders. It has to-do lists, that you can check. It's very nice. In fact, I suggested this for your bullet journal if you ever want to move your bullet journal to a digital platform.
Okay, so what happens to all that work you've done if you cancel the subscription?
That's another thing one should investigate. I think in the case of Bear, it stays, but that's,
all that work you've done.
Yeah, I put a lot of, well, this was for the show, but I did put a lot of stuff in there. But I'll tell you what I did, and I think I mentioned this on the show. As pretty as Bear is, I decided to spend a lot more money, $150, on Devon Think Office Pro, and that's what I'm using now. I mean, I'll show you. It's not nearly as pretty, but I can use it. Actually, you can use Bear on the desktop and everything as well. I don't know. This is not a subscription. As you can see, it's very similar. In fact, the same exact, information's in there, probably because I cut and paste it, right? But it's not quite as pretty, So this is the same, but see the to-dos, I can make those checks and stuff. It's not just, I don't know. Anyway, I decided this is an uglier tool, but I feel like a more powerful tool for me. For instance, you can import email directly into it and things like that. And Bear is it really is a personal choice. I'm going to vote Bear off the island.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad we did what we did, because now I know I just beat the deadline, right? In 2 days, so I'm going to cancel the trial. If you end your trial now, you could still access it to February 1st. I'm sorry, Bear. I'm sorry. Boom. Voted off the island.
Okay. All right. I'm next. Here's one password. Okay.
Now, do you use another password manager?
I use LastPass.
Because we offer all our employees LastPass. We pay for it because we use it for the business. 1Password is excellent, but it's probably you, like me, you were reviewing it.
So, this one expires February 4th.
You don't want 2Password
No,
managers.
I don't think you do. That's really complicated. So
1Password you could argue, works a little bit better maybe on iOS. It's a little more natural because you get the little lock and the fields and stuff. But if you've already got LastPass for free from the company, if you didn't get it for free, I'd say 1Password, especially for iOS users, is probably a better choice.
Are you going to fire me in the next month or two?
No.
Okay, thank you. You guys heard it here. So I think I'm voting 1Password off the island. It's a perfectly good password manager.
If you were okay, never mind. That's in it. But you know what? These calculations, these survivor calculations are complex. They're fraught.
They are
fraught with peril.
Because I don't have. I learned recently. Jason Howell pays for the account. His own LastPass account, so he keeps them separate. But mine are all just jumbled right in there together.
You can keep it separate.
And you still pay for that?
And we'll still pay for it. So you can have your LastPass, and you can have it be part of your enterprise folder, so that all your passwords are available to you, your work passwords and your LastPass. But they are kept set. They're two separate password vaults. They just are all showed up together. So that's actually a nice feature of LastPass. If your company uses, and there's company versions of 1Password as well. So if your company, you should inquire if your company uses one, if they will pay for your personal edition too. And if they don't, you should say, well, Leo does.
And they should invest in that. That's like paying for the health account. I mean, health club, which you also do.
Stuff.
It's
no,
good.
We want to nudge you in the direction of good behaviors.
Right.
That's why we also, each of you get a carton of cigarettes a month, I believe, right? Yeah. But more for trading than for smoking. It's like prison, basically.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so one
currency
password.
here in TWiT.
Free trial. So
I think it's time.
Yeah. So now, again, I don't know how to do this. Select an option to resubscribe. How do I?
Oh, you see, you're not resubscribing, so it will run out.
It's Okay.
It's expiring.
So I did that too.
Yeah.
So let's just.
Here's one.
Okay.
You talked about health. Mm-hmm. This is another one where I bought a year.
Really, with Aaptiv, I have that too, but I haven't used it at all.
And I haven't used it yet. But I have a health club membership, and I've terminated it as of the end of February because Aaptiv is a trainer in a box. So you tried a whole bunch of them.
I did. I have.
And
some
you have decided not to go with Aaptiv, I think.
Well, I haven't tried Aaptiv yet because I'm still on my free subscriptions. We'll get to that after. So tell me about. You haven't used it at all.
No. In fact, it's not even installed on my iPad, apparently.
Well, it's more
on my iPhone.
Listening, right? Like,
yeah, the idea is you put your headphones in, and then a guy starts talking to you, or a gal, and saying, okay, and you pick. I could show it
Okay, I have
here.
it on mine. I installed it at least. Bored with
You're
your
ahead of me.
cardio.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a
But
good
they have
question.
all sorts of routines, which is really cool.
Would you sign up through Facebook or through the email? What would you do?
I always do email, and I'll tell you why. And I encourage people to do this too, for several reasons. First of all, when you sign up through Facebook, you're giving Facebook information.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier. There's also sign up with Google in some cases, sign up with Twitter. It's easier. You're not always giving that company information. You're just using them for single sign-in. But here's the real reason. Because I have lately been deleting Facebook and Twitter and Google, well, not Google account, but Google Plus from my devices. By the way, life is better without Facebook on your device. So I can still do it. I didn't get rid of my account. I still do it on my computer, but I don't want to be waking up and looking at Facebook. So once you delete Facebook from your phone, as I have, a Facebook login is less than useless. You actually have to log into Facebook, and then you get a login. So I say use email. Okay. It's not much harder at
just did
first,
it.
and then it's permanent.
And then Facebook doesn't have to know
you.
every app that you're using.
Yeah,
and
I don't think it's a good idea.
They know you're looking at a fitness program. Who knows what kind of ads they're going to try to sell you.
So you can find a workout. This is Aaptiv on my phone. Outdoor running, treadmill, elliptical. What I'm interested in, what I use a trainer for, is strength training. And so you can get, they tell you, like this one uses weights, like little dumbbells. Full body with weights. It's 19 minutes. It's got hip-hop music. Sultan's the trainer. Michael do hip-hop. Jump in, walk out. That's just your body. No weights required. That's an 8-minute. Push, pull, and press. Look at all of these. These are all real people. Shall I play one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it hooked up to my... this is a medicine ball workout. So you have to have a medicine ball. She has music. This is Jessica. Let me turn it all the way up.
We have a medicine ball workout.
She sounds just like you, by the way.
It's beginner, so I'm going to try to explain everything as clear and as simple as possible.
So there's no video. This is in your ears.
With all these workouts, and this might be your first medicine ball workout. Who knows? You'll love the medicine ball. So
do you have a medicine ball at home?
Add some weight, add some challenge.
It's a heavy ball. Basically, it's like a volleyball, but it's got weights in it.
Medicine balls, and by size, I mean a few different weights. So grab one that you know you can lift over your shoulders. So maybe something between 5
you can
and
see
10 pounds.
It's very. I mean, this is
to that weight. So we've got squats and lunges. So you're gonna hold that medicine.
So I think this is a really neat idea. It's a trainer in a box. You saw the price. It's a little pricey. It's $100 a year, but it's still less than a gym.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I'm going to try this because we have a lot of equipment at home, and so I'm going to try this just to see if I. The real question is, the reason I use a trainer is because you have an appointment and they're standing there waiting for you at the gym, and so it kind of you kind of have an obligation to show up. But if I can do this daily, I think it'll be better. Plus, they have a really big variety. I mean, this is just one of many, many, many classes. You could favorite the classes you want. So, canceling the trial would be silly. This is going to continue. Oh, I'm in the free trial. Oh, okay. So I haven't paid the $100 yet, I guess. So February 13th, my free 1 month ends. A couple more weeks to decide whether I'm going to go for that $100. I'm going to keep it. I like this, and I think this is going to be good. But you know, you and I both, we need to use it between now and the end of our 1 month free trial. So this is another reason to go through these subscriptions.